Greetings. I'd like to take a moment and share with you my approach to teaching and game improvement. My main goal when I give you a lesson is to change the flight of your golf ball. For you see, when you hit a golf shot, you can basically hit it in one of three directions. It's either going to go to the right of target, left of target, or at the target. At the same time though, it could travel too low or too high or just right. So when I watch you hit a shot, that golf ball is telling me exactly where your club face was at impact. And the thing you need to understand is that the position of the club at impact has an 85% influence on the direction and height of that shot. So then the next thing I'll look at then is when you take a divot, is the divot down and to the left, kind of deep, or is it out to the right, kind of shallow? So then I look at where the club was at the top of the swing, and is the downswing compensating for that? So at the top of the swing, is the club face open or is it shut? Does it happen to be laid off, or does it happen to be crossing the line? Then from there, I look to see where the club was in your backswing. Is the backswing too flat? Is it too vertical? Then again, I go back to the takeaway. Is the takeaway too flat? Is the takeaway too vertical? Then ultimately I come back to your address position and see where your grip is and the position of your ball and your posture. Because you see, the thing you have to understand is that people set up for the curve of the shot that they favor. For instance, a slicer will position the ball forward in their stance, align their shoulders to the left so they can swing left and get the ball to start and curve back into the hole. Somebody who hooks will align themselves to the right, position the ball back in their stance, swing out to the right so the ball can start to the right and curve back in. Ideally though, what I'd like to see happen though is that a person would set up parallel to the target. So everything from your toes, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, even your eyes are parallel to the target line. And then the next thing I'd like to see is that you swing the club on the proper plane. And the plane of your golf swing is dictated by your posture and your ability to blend two motions at once. For you see, when you set up to the golf ball, the fact that you're standing to the side of the ball, one of the things that the club will do is swing around your body on an arc. The other thing it'll do though is because it starts on the ground, it'll swing up over your shoulder, back down to the ball, and then back up over that shoulder. So the key is to figure out, well, how much do I swing the club in at the same time swing it up? Well, again, it gets back to your posture and the club that you're using. So you can see the club that is angled in and up towards me. So whether I'm hitting a pitching wedge or a driver, I know I'm swinging on the club on plane when it passes through a point that's parallel to the ground and target. In the backswing, the club would move above and parallel to the plane, and ultimately if it got to the top, it would be parallel to the ground and target again. In the downswing, it would just simply retrace itself and come back around to a good finish. So if you're not swinging on that plane, then you have one of three choices. You're either going to swing on a plane that's too vertical and steep, and that would favor hitting balls off the toe, or you're swinging on a plane that's too flat and round, that would favor hitting off the heel. And then what most people do though is they combine two motions. They'll swing around too much, up and over and across. So ideally when you swing on plane, that gives you the best chance to hit it in the center of the club face. So then when I analyze what your critical error is and whether you favor slice or hook, then what I really do is move you in the opposite direction of your error. Because see, to me, if you're a slicer, then the key to good golf is to be able to take your slice, move it back to straight, but then also put some hook symptoms into it so that when you do wean back towards slice, you're not going all the way back to here, maybe only to here. Same thing if you hook. If you hook, then I introduce some slice into that swing so that you can get your shots to balance out and be a lot straighter. When it comes to improving your game, I have a simple little formula that my students follow. And that's simply this. At the end of every round, they subtract the number of penalty shots they had, the number of three putts that they had, and what I call two chips. And two chips are simply just that. Did it take you more than one chip shot to get onto the green? Or did it take you more than 2 attempts to get out of the bunker? We then subtract those shots from your score, and that reveals 2 things to me. 1, it tells me what your potential score could have been that day. And 2, it reveals to me what area of your game needs to be worked on the most. Say, for instance, you had 4 or 5 penalty shots that round. Well, guess what? We go to the driving range, we work on that swing, we correct that critical error so you don't have that big miss. Let's say you had 4 or 5 2 chips. Well, then we find out what part of the game. Are you struggling out of the bunker? Is your chipping technique causing you to either hit it fat or hit it across the green? The bottom line, though, to correcting, whether it's your full swing or whether it's correcting your game improvement swing, I always create a plan. Because see, if you may have a goal to improve, but if you don't have a plan, well, then basically all you have is a dream. But a plan specifically says in your full swing, okay, my grip is too strong, I'm too flat into the ball, and my posture alignment is out of whack. So we develop the correct plan for you to correct that. Same thing in your game improvement. If you're struggling with bunker shots, we hit that. If you're struggling with your putting and you have too many 3 putts, then what we do is we work on either your distance control or your directional control. Well, hopefully this gives you some idea of my approach to the game, and I want to thank you for watching.